Well, our next story focuses on a small parish in the Franklin County town of Northfield that's taking a unique approach to the mission of evangelizing through coffee and music. Parishioners are hosting coffee houses in the parish center as a way to showcase local musicians and to give people a chance to come in contact with the Catholic Church. Carolee McGrath went to one of the performances and caught up with a local musician, Santina King, who just released her first CD.
Follow my head, follow my heart.
She's a 26-year-old up-and-coming star from New England. Singer-songwriter Santina King performed in an intimate coffeehouse setting in her hometown of Northfield on a recent Friday night. But the location of her performance and her incredible talent, you could say, were divinely inspired.
I was born and raised in this church, and my first communion was done here.
I'd like to dedicate this one to the pastor of this church, Father Tom. Tomorrow's his birthday, so happy birthday. Thank you so much for having us here.
Santina was the featured artist for the St. Patrick's Coffee House. The parish has held two in recent months in the basement of the church. It was a combination of rock, blues, and Jesus. Santina played songs from her just-released self-titled album.
I've heard a lot of response that I fit into more of an acoustic fusion, which blends jazz, funk, folk, some blues, all combined into this sort of alternative acoustic sound.
Santina's mom, Tonia King, is on the parish council and came up with the coffee house concept as a way to raise money for the church. She's also a musician, and so is Santina's father, who backed her up.
I was trying to think of a way to help the church raise money, and I'm a musician, and my family is musicians, and I thought, what a great way to support the local music community, support the church, and make it a real community event.
This coffee house is not just a fundraiser, but it's part of a plan to reach out into the wider community and to evangelize. St. Patrick Church is a small parish with a few hundred families. Father Tom Lazowski is the pastor. So some people might say, really, Father, though, you're having a contemporary sort of rock musician come in tonight. What does this have to do with the church?
It has a huge amount to do with the church because it is not only pulling together the society as we see it, it's bringing it into an atmosphere where we're looking at Christian values, Christian morals, Christian ethics, and it's in a place where we're inviting other people who may not be any part of this church to come in and see who we are.
Father Tom says half of the people who have come had never set foot inside the church before. He says they're also hosting parish dinners and a healing mass as part of the evangelization effort. Father Tom says his own personal illness inspired him to reach out and tell people the good news about Jesus.
I had diverticulitis. I ended up in a coma for 36 days. And then I ended up in a rehab where I had to learn how to talk and walk and sit up, and constructional surgeries of about 22 of them, which radically changed my perspective, not only in ministry, but in working with people who were sick.
So St. Patrick's parishioners will continue to reach out with coffee, cookies, and rock and blues, and maybe encourage people to give Jesus and the Catholic faith a second look. In Northfield, I'm Carolee McGrath.
And you can go to iobserve.org for a link to the site where you can buy Santina's CD. Father Tom says the parish will hold another healing service in January.